Alberto and Anita Cantu struck it big in the Texas lottery.
That $1 purchase got them $177 million.
And they wanted to give back to their church.
So I feel excited that not only that the new building, but I feel excited what we can do in that building.
This Austin TV report spread the news. The 60-year-old Bethel Baptist Church in Abernathy would be rebuilt.
And God saw fit through Brother and Sister Cantu that we would get a new building. Same place, same spirit, just a new building.
The small West Texas church also bought this new church van. They bought it here at the Riegerdykes Ford dealership in Plainview with a cashier's check. Just one problem. The church never got the legal title to the van. It was bought just as allegations of fraud on the string of dealerships closed them all down.
I contacted Ford Motor Credit. They looked it up and said, we'll get somebody back with you. Well, guess what? They didn't.
They haven't heard the last of you.
I'm not done by a long shot.
Tens of thousands of West Texans watched Bart Rieger the other day break his silence on the collapse of his auto empire, his faith in God as he's hit with a tsunami of lawsuits. Among the folks who reached out after was Pastor Willie Bolton. Despite his financial world crashing in, Bart Rieger went to bat to get the church van moving again.
He asked me if I would help, and I said, sure, I'll do all I can. And things went from there, and about 3 days later, we got his vehicle registered, which was great.
We will keep you and yours in prayer, the Reverend wrote later. Thanks for all you've done for the church in this matter.
Anytime a person is going through all that and take time out just to deal with one person, with one van, I think that's pretty good. I think that speaks well to my Bible about him.
You should see Rieger's email back after the faith leader of Bethel thanked him, quoting, "You trusted me to buy your vehicle, and it makes me sick how much trouble you've had to go through."
Ever since I've been in the automobile business, if a customer called me with a problem, I've always done everything I can to help them.
The Bethel church members aren't the only Riegerdykes customers still caught in the middle. Some still owning cars they never got the legal papers for after a full year.
I assumed that Ford would take care of the registrations for the cars at least that were being sold after that, but it's been like pulling teeth to get that done.
Rieger's email to that Abernathy preacher the other day exposes something else. Bitterness. Bitterness with the company he once helped promote all over Texas.
I thought I had a really good partner in Ford Motor Company and Ford Motor Credit. I started working with them in 1987 when I was in college, and I was a top Ford salesman.
We all remember the commercials.
The Riegerdykes Auto Group is your friend in the car business, from the Panhandle down to the Permian Basin.
Now look at the email, quoting, "If I knew any of this was possible, I would have had you buy your van somewhere else."
You're bitter at that.
I don't like Ford right now. I would never buy another Ford. I would never sell another Ford.
Bart Rieger says he had earned Ford's trust, or at least a warning if someone thought something in his operation didn't look right. Here's why. Ford Motor Credit made a ton of money off Riegerdykes. They had audited the dealership every 3 months to make sure the numbers were right. Look at this email Rieger got after the audit on June 28th of last year from Gwen Schmucker of Ford Motor Credit, quoting, "These results really are fantastic. We greatly appreciate you and value our partnership with Riegerdykes organization." Less than a month later, boom, Ford swoops in and files a major fraud lawsuit.
For them to come into Lubbock while I was out of town and take over my dealerships and put a blockade on us for all cash, and to put our customers and my employees in this situation, I'm not happy with them at all.
The Riegerdykes Auto Mall now shows the wear of the shutdown. There is no doubt there was fraud in the dealerships. Chief Financial Officer Shane Smith has admitted he was a crook. He faces 20 years in prison. But how could Smith fool Ford auditors for so long? Or were they fooled? Rieger hints the Ford investigation now underway could get ugly.
And I think that they came in aggressively like they did to basically try to bury the company as fast as possible so that they never had to deal with any ramifications.
Riegerdykes had hired Shane Smith from Ford Motor Credit Corporation in the first place. Legal filings from his former partner Riegerdykes start to connect the dots. Quoting, "Over the past 11 years, Mr. Smith maintained a close professional and personal relationship with Gary Bird Jr., the person primarily responsible for overseeing Ford Credit's financing of the Riegerdykes dealerships." Dykes also complained an employee in the finance office had an affair with a Ford auditor, getting tipped off in advance of audits. This could get messy. Ford has yet to explain why their auditors missed the huge fraud they now claim existed.
And my CFO worked for Ford for 12 years. I mean, all those people that were in charge of those audits were his friends.
Bart Rieger stayed silent for months amidst the headlines. But that's over now. Ford sued for $116 million. A judge could soon enter a judgment in that case against Rieger for tens of millions.
You know, I just want truth. I just want fairness and truth and justice. I don't want people, just jumping to conclusions based on what happened in the media this time last year.
Rieger could pay a very steep financial price for the betrayal of others. Local banks, they financially benefited too from the check-kiting scheme that Smith now admits he pulled off.
And there's a couple of banks in particular that it looks like there was some kind of quid pro quo between them and my CFO, like, hey, we're going to let you do this, but we're going to charge you astronomical fees. I've been really blessed, Wayne, to have a lot of support and a lot of people that believe in me. And if I didn't, there's no way I could have made it through this.
In the days since Rieger finally spoke out, he has received many prayers.
I got a lot of texts that said, I'm glad you're finally getting to tell your side. And I'm glad that people are going to finally get to start understanding what really happened. And
Rieger's often turned to prayer, sharing his faith on a Sunday podcast on KFYO radio.
You know, I know who I am. And I know what I did and what I didn't do, and I know what I knew and didn't know.
So don't think when people misuse you, God don't hear you. Don't think when you're going through something, God don't hear you. God do hear you.
Back at the Bethel church, Pastor Bolton keeps praying for Bart Rieger.
Even what he's going through, I'm going to keep praying for him because I know that he has a lot on his plate right now.
And he has a message for the car king who fought so hard to make Lubbock the friendliest city in America.
And Bart is the type of person to me is that he relies on God. So no matter what you have to go through, God gonna see me through this. So I would tell somebody, hey, Bart is a man of his word.
my goal at the end of this thing is to make sure that truth and justice is served on everybody that it needs to be served on.